All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely. Always up for a good deep dive.
Great. So today, we're going to be talking about Tottenham versus Newcastle.
Oh, this is a juicy one.
I know, right? It's on January 4th, and
Premier League clash.
yes, a Premier League clash. And, we've been looking at a lot of different things, previews, predictions, even some betting tips.
Trying to get the full picture.
Yeah, exactly. We really want to go beyond, just who's going to win.
Yeah.
We want to, look at all the reasons why this is such a big game, why it matters.
The why, not just the what.
Exactly. And the first thing that kind of jumps out, at least for me, is the, narratives around these two teams.
Yeah.
They're so different right now.
Night and day, almost.
Yeah. So, on the one hand, we've got Tottenham.
Okay.
Big ambitions, as always. But they're sitting at 11th.
Oof, that's rough.
I know, right? 11th in the league.
Not where they want to be.
Not at all. And they haven't won a league match in their last 3.
Not good. Not good at all.
And it gets worse. Their home record. Even worse. They haven't won at home in their last 5 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yikes. So basically, they're struggling to find any kind of form, both home and away.
Right. And, last year, they were up there,
Yeah.
battling for a Champions League spot.
Right.
Now,
Not even close.
forget it. There's a huge, huge point gap between them and the top 4.
I mean, it's still early in the season, but
It's a big gap.
big gap.
Yeah. And then, on the other hand, Newcastle. Wow.
On fire.
They're on fire. 4 straight wins.
Didn't concede a goal in those 4 games either.
That's insane.
I know.
And they've climbed all the way up to 5th.
5th, right in the mix.
They're breathing down the necks of the top 4. I mean, Eddie Howe got to give him credit,
He's doing something right, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing, you've got this giant kind of struggling.
Right.
And then you've got this underdog turned contender.
The classic tale.
Yeah.
Right.
It just makes for an interesting story,
And it's not just the story. That difference in form, that's going to be electric on the pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed
Yeah.
fireworks.
Speaking of electric,
Yeah.
the managers,
Oh, yeah.
there's some pressure building up there, but for very different reasons.
For sure.
I mean, Ange Postecoglou, Tottenham,
Yeah.
he is feeling the heat.
Definitely.
And some of the stuff we've been reading, some people are even saying his job's on the line.
Wow, really?
If things don't turn around quickly.
I mean, I get it. The fans are getting restless.
Yeah.
And those results aren't exactly helping his case.
No. And then there's this rumor going around, about the EFL Cup.
Oh, yeah. The semifinal.
Yeah, against Liverpool.
Next week, right?
Yeah. They're saying if they lose that could be it for him.
Ouch. That's got to be weighing on his mind.
Yeah. And remember, he said he was going to get them a trophy.
In his second season, right?
Second season, yeah. So, yeah, that would be rough.
Tough spot to be in.
And then, meanwhile, you've got Eddie Howe.
Mr. Sunshine right now.
Yeah. It's like the complete opposite.
All smiles and
It's
praise.
little accolades,
But even with that, there's pressure, right?
Yeah.
He's got to keep it going. Prove this Newcastle revival isn't a fluke.
Exactly. The spotlight is on him now to show that they deserve to be up there with the big boys.
It's a different kind of pressure, but it's pressure nonetheless.
Right. And speaking of, showing what you can do, let's talk about some of the players.
Okay.
The ones who could really make a difference in this match.
The game changers.
Yeah. So, for Tottenham, they've got Brennan Johnson.
Right.
He's their top scorer this season.
He has been pretty consistent, especially at home.
Yeah, particularly in their recent home games.
He's definitely one to watch.
He's going to need to be at his best, though, if they want to break through Newcastle's defense.
Which has been rock solid lately, by the way.
Right.
Speaking of rock solid, Newcastle's got Alexander Isak.
Oh, he's been incredible.
I know. The guy's on fire. He's scoring goals at a record pace.
Isn't he, getting close to Alan Shearer's record?
He is. Single-year goal record for Newcastle. Can you imagine if he breaks it against Tottenham?
Oh, man. The scenes. That would be amazing.
The place would erupt.
And then there's Anthony Gordon.
Ah, yes. Mr. Clutch.
He's been directly involved in goals in his last 4 appearances.
Which makes Newcastle's attack even scarier, where they're getting goals from everywhere.
It's hard to defend against that, when you got threats coming from multiple players.
Nightmare for opposing defenses. They don't know who to focus on. But hold on a second. Because both teams are dealing with some injuries.
Oh, yeah. The injury bug always seems to hit at the worst time.
It does. And for Tottenham, this is especially worrying. they've got some key defensive players out.
Oh, no, that's not good, especially against Newcastle's attack.
Yeah, exactly. And we're looking at some key absences on both sides, actually. Tottenham's Rodrigo Bentancur and Newcastle's Fabian Schär.
Both out.
Yeah, yellow card accumulation.
Oh, right.
But Tottenham's defensive injuries, they are a real concern.
So they're going to be relying on their backups against a team that thrives on exploiting weaknesses.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, like, how are they going to cope with Newcastle's high press?
Ooh, good point.
You know, for anyone who's not familiar, it's basically this tactic where they just, like, aggressively pressure the other team as soon as they get the ball.
They just swarm them.
Yeah, it disrupts their play, forces them to make mistakes.
And Newcastle's gotten really good at it under Eddie Howe. They've transformed into a team that suffocates opponents, wins the ball back quickly.
Which leads to a lot of scoring opportunities.
Exactly. And it could be a real problem for Tottenham because, they like to build from the back.
Right.
Passing out from the goalkeeper, building up slowly through their defenders.
Yeah.
Well, without their key defenders, that could be really tough.
It's like playing right into Newcastle's hands.
Exactly.
So this tactical battle, it's going to be fascinating to watch.
I'm already glued to my seat.
I know. And I got to say, I am a bit nervous for Tottenham.
Yeah.
With their defense being so shaky and Newcastle's attack being so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a recipe for disaster.
Well, let's hope not. We want a good game, right? A competitive game.
Yeah.
Not blowout.
Yeah, definitely. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see how Tottenham approaches this. It is a real concern, no doubt about it. But, hey, maybe Tottenham can flip the script.
What do you mean?
Well, if their defense is going to struggle, maybe they just go all-out attack.
Yeah.
Hit Newcastle on the counter.
Interesting. It's not really their usual style, though, is it?
True. But desperate times, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So you're thinking, like, a more direct approach.
Yeah. Bypass that midfield, try some long balls, catch Newcastle out of position.
I mean, Brennan Johnson, he's got the speed for that.
Exactly. Or Son Heung-min cutting in from the wing.
Yeah.
Could cause some real chaos.
Yeah. Because if they sit back, just absorb the pressure.
Newcastle's going to run the show.
And we've seen what they can do when they're in control. That midfield trio.
Oh, don't even get me started. Yeah. Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Labinton, Sandro Tonali.
It's scary good.
They work so well together. Winning the ball back, transitioning to attack, controlling the tempo.
Yeah. It's like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. So the big question is, can Tottenham's midfield even handle that?
I mean, they're going to have to be at their absolute best, right?
Absolutely. If they can't disrupt Newcastle's rhythm, if they can't stop them from controlling the game,
it's going to be a long day for Tottenham.
A very long day. They need to find a way to break up their play.
Pressing high, clogging up those passing lanes.
Something. They've got to do something.
Man, it's like a double threat. You've got the high press A&D, that midfield.
Double trouble. And, this match, it's huge for both managers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for Postecoglou, this feels like a must-win, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
Think about it. If they can beat Newcastle, a top team, it buys them some time, calms the fans down a bit, maybe shows the board he's still the right guy for the job.
But a loss, especially a bad one.
Could be curtains, especially with that EFL Cup game coming up.
Yeah. Liverpool in the semifinal.
Not an easy opponent.
Not at all. So, yeah, high stakes for him.
Definitely. And for Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
This is about proving Newcastle are here to stay.
Cementing their place as a contender.
A win at Tottenham.
Yeah.
A place where historically it's been tough to win.
Yeah.
That sends a message.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. We're here and we're serious.
It would really solidify their Champions League hopes, wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure. And put pressure on those teams above them. This is Newcastle's chance to prove they belong on the top four.
All right. So we've talked about the narratives, the managers, but let's step back for a second and look at the history between these two teams. Yeah. Because, like we said earlier, this is a fixture that usually produces some fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Some classic matches.
And the crazy thing is, in all the years they've played each other in the Premier League, not a single 0-0 draw.
Wow. Really?
Never a 0-0.
Out of how many games?
59. 59 matches. And there's always been at least one goal.
That is wild.
It's like these teams, they bring out the best in each other's attack.
A recipe for goals.
Exactly. And actually, this is the third highest scoring fixture in Premier League history when you look at total goals.
Wow. So we could be in for a real goal fest here.
It's definitely possible. I wouldn't be surprised to see both teams finding the back of the net.
Remember that game last year? At Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Which one?
Tottenham won 4-1.
Oh, yeah.
Newcastle just got hammered.
That was crazy. But, I think that result might be a bit misleading.
Oh, how so?
Well, Newcastle's actually had the better of Tottenham in recent years.
Have they? I hadn't realized that.
Yeah. They've won 4 of their last 5 Premier League games against them.
Huh. Interesting. So things have changed a bit then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It used to be a fixture that Tottenham dominated.
And now it's swung the other way.
Yeah. So, recent history favors Newcastle. But, as they say, past performance is no guarantee of future results, right?
Very true. Especially in football where anything can happen.
Exactly. Before we dive into some predictions, I want to ask you, the listener, a question. What about this match has you intrigued? What are you most excited to see? Is it the tactical battle, the individual brilliance of players like Isak and Johnson, or maybe it's the drama surrounding the managers? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so I think we've looked at everything, the narratives, the managers, the history.
We've gone deep.
We have. Now the big question, who's going to win this thing?
Honestly, it's tough. Newcastle, they're the favorites, right?
Yeah.
They're in form. They're more settled as a team. Not as many injury worries.
Right.
But there's a part of me that thinks Tottenham might just pull it off. Really?
Yeah, it's their home ground. They'll be desperate to turn things around.
They're going to be fighting.
Exactly, and we've seen them do it before.
Yeah.
Surprise us against strong teams.
True. They do have that fighting spirit,
And don't underestimate that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium crowd. They can be a real 12th man.
So you're saying it's not like a sure thing for Newcastle?
Not at all. I mean, yeah, most of what we've read, it favors Newcastle. but football's unpredictable, right?
Anything can happen.
Exactly. Remember that game earlier this season?
Yeah.
At St. James's Park?
Yeah.
Newcastle won, but it was close.
What was it, 2-1?
2-1. Goals from Barnes and Isak.
Right.
So even though Newcastle's been on this great run, those games against Tottenham, they've been tight.
So another close one then, you think?
I think so, yeah. I'm picturing like a tense tactical battle.
Okay.
Both managers maybe playing it safe, at least early on.
Yeah.
Postecoglou, he doesn't want another loss.
Yeah.
And how he won't underestimate Tottenham.
So maybe a low-scoring game then. A draw.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But remember what we said about these teams. Goals galore. Right.
Historically, yeah.
So maybe it goes the other way. Maybe both teams just go all out attack.
That would be fun.
It would.
So it's like we've got these two storylines, right?
Yeah.
Newcastle dominating recently, but then this history of crazy high-scoring games.
So it's what makes this match so exciting. Clash of styles, clash of narratives.
And impossible to predict.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, we've analyzed, we've debated. Prediction time. What's your gut feeling?
Oof. If I have to pick, I'd say Newcastle.
Okay.
Just their attack is so potent, and
What?
Tottenham's defense is just not there right now. But it'll be close. Maybe 2-1 Newcastle.
Interesting. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going Tottenham draw.
Ooh, bold prediction.
I think they'll be fired up. Home crowd. And they need to prove something.
So, 2-2. Love it. A real nail biter. All right, listeners. Now it's your turn. Head over to our social media. Let us know your predictions. Who you got? Tottenham? Newcastle? What are you most excited to see? We want to hear from you. And until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.